Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Sue. Today I'm just going to be mass making some embellished tickets. Now I did see Viber Vintage do little, I'm not even sure what they were, some time ago, little squares with reinforcers in them, and I thought they would look really good in these tickets, Tim Holtz tickets that I've got. So I've cut out a whole heap of different colour ring reinforcements to go with this cardstock that I'm using. I've got so much cardstock left from over the years, and I'm going to use what do you call it? Embossing powder. Now, I don't know whether that one is actually white or clear, so we're going to have a go with that one first. I would prefer white. So I'm just going to randomly pick a stamp. I'm using a embossing ink pad. These are so old, I don't even know whether they're going to work. So I'm trying to use up my bits and pieces that I have. So we're going to just experiment and see what happens. So I'm just going to stamp it down, and I'll do a couple of these first and try the embossing powder that I've got at the top there and work out whether it's white or clear. It doesn't actually say on the bottle, so it'll be good to be able to mark it anyway and work out what it is. I've got my little tray here to the left as well, so that's great for catching all the excess embossing powder. I use it when I use micro beads as well. It's an amazing little tool. So, I mean, it looks white, but no, I think it's actually clear. So we're going to just brush off the excess. I've just got this brush handy, and it doesn't even really matter in this because I'm going to cut all these down once I've embossed them. So I'm just going to actually heat that with a heat gun as well, and see what colour we've got, whether it is clear or whether it's white. So you'll see why these little trays are handy, because you can just pour all the excess back into your bottle without making a huge mess. Although further down the track I do make a huge mess, but that's just me with embossing powders, I'm afraid. Alrighty, so let's see what this does. Heating it up. Love watching embossing powder change or melt. Yeah, okay, so it's clear. All right, so I don't want clear, I want white. I'm going to head off and see if I can find any other white, but I do have a few other colours there that I'll use. So I'm just going to randomly stamp a whole heap of these labels onto all these different cardstocks, and I'll be back shortly. I've stamped all the different tickets onto all the different cardstocks. Now I've used the smooth side of the cardstock, not the textured side, just because the stamps obviously stamp better. So I've done all different colours. I haven't thought about it. I've just done it really randomly. Some haven't turned out as well as I'd like because I've used a darker colour on a darker cardstock. That's okay. We're going to have a play around and just see if we can still use them. So that's what they look like. So now I am just going to grab some sprays and things, and we're going to colour some of this this cardstock that we've stamped. I'm laying down this piece of fabric on my desk just so I don't get spray over everything. And this piece of fabric, well, first of all, I'm going to be using oxide sprays, tumbled glass, tea dye, and vintage photo. This piece of fabric I put on a tray, and when Mum has a cup of tea or I have a cup of tea, we actually just put the tea bag on there and it soaks into the fabric. So it ends up being an easy thing to do without having to worry about, getting a tub full of tea dye. So I thought if I add some sprays onto this, it'll just add to the look of it. So I'm just randomly playing with the sprays. I don't use my sprays very much at all because they scare me. I'm always frightened that they're going to spray too much. But then, I mean, I tend to overdo it a little bit as well. But anyway, I'll speed this up a little bit and I'll just show you. I'm tipping them upside down and I'm going to rub the back of them and get some of that excess ink onto the fabric as well. And I'll just fast forward some of this and you'll see the effect that I get. Well, that was definitely some messy fun, and I've got some beautiful fabric with some extra colour on it as well. I'm going to head off now and just cut all of these out, and then we'll get to putting some embellishing to them. Well, this is definitely a mass make. Look at all of those tickets that I've got there. Some of them, I don't know, maybe next time I would colour the cardstock first and then stamp. Some I have lost a little bit of detail, I guess you would say, with regards to the embossing, but I'm pretty happy with the majority of them. I can use them. So I'm going to just punch the ends on some of these and just to make them look like tickets. I'm not even really concerned about what they say on the tickets. I've got sandpaper here. Some of this cardstock is the old, it's not Tim Holtz, I'm trying to think, coordination cardstock, where you can sand it and you can you get a different colour in the centre. I end up giving up on sanding them because I couldn't work out which one was the coordinations one and which one wasn't. So I'm just having a little bit of a play around. The rougher the better with regards to these, so they look like they've been in someone's wallet or someone's pocket. So I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to distress some edges on some and then I will ink some. And then we'll move forward from there. I got a bit impatient and decided I wanted to do ticket by ticket. So I'm punching the ends, the bottom ends, and then you know how, I don't know whether they do it anymore. I don't use public transport, but they punch a hole on the day or whatever that you actually use your ticket. I was just punching some random holes in that particular ticket, and I do that on several others. I'm just trying to do something a little bit different for each one. And then I use my crocodile to punch the hole for the eyelets and the enforcer, and I actually set them. I do need to actually hammer the back of some of those eyelets because they're only cheap and they don't split properly. Then I've just got some random labels here. These are Tracy Fox labels, and then I've got to the right of me my folder with all my stamped images, which I will pull from there as well and add to all of these tickets. Some I leave simple, some I add a little bit more. It's just playing around and layering. So I will speed this up and you can just see some of the tickets I've done. I'll come in at the end and just show you exactly what I've made. Oh boy, these really were so much fun. I got really totally taken in with them. Look how many I've made. So I'm obviously not going to show you every single one, but I will show you some of them. So some I've just done left simple and put one reinforcement in them. Others I've added some layering and some different bits and pieces. So these can go onto tags, they can go onto other bits and pieces that you've already made. They can act as clusters or side tucks. It's just as limited as your imagination, but I had an absolute ball. And I could see this technique with the eyelets and the reinforcement holes being used in other bits of ephemera as well. So I've really roughed some up. Some I didn't ink, some I have inked. It's just really random what I've done. I don't know. I've really had fun, as you can tell. I just couldn't stop. Made so many. Anyway, it's all good because I know that once you start using this type of thing, it doesn't take long for them to disappear and then you've got nothing left. So this is always a good idea to just have a few hours play and build up your stash and just make some different bits of ephemera for your journals. So I love them. Let me know what you think. I just absolutely love them. And you know what? I didn't even think about what colours I was putting together. I think the cardstock that I chose at the beginning all pretty well went together. I cut the reinforcement holes out of that cardstock as well, so it didn't matter what I put on what. And then when I go to use them for my journals and ephemera down the track, I can ink up more if I want to, or add more layers as well. So I'll just show you a few more. I hope you enjoyed them and you give them a go. Let me know what you think of them. As you can tell, I had an absolute ball making them, so I've got plenty there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And until next time, I hope you get a little bit of creative time in. I'll see you soon. Bye.